Hey everybody, so how many of you out there have just an insane, crazy schedule that's almost impossible to keep control of? Well, stick around. We're going to give you 3 tips to help you figure that part out and make your life completely a lot easier, especially when it comes to husband and wife relationships. Now, who are we? We're Wedlock Warriors, Jeff and Maggie now, the founders of Wedlock Warriors, and we are really here to help you get better at your marriage. And the reason we could do that is because we came from disaster, complete disaster, and we actually figured it out, and now we consider ourselves pretty dynamite. And the whole idea behind this is we've been through the minefield that a lot of people out there are experiencing in their lives right now, trying to figure out how to be married, or trying to figure out what's going on, or they're struggling in their marriage, and they don't know if they're going to make it through to the other side still intact. We are the people that made it through the other side. We're the people on the other side of the minefield waiting for you to come through, and we're telling you where to step because we already been through that same minefield, and we made it all the way across safe and intact. And that's why we're here. Now, our story is really, really crazy, and I don't want to go into too much detail here, but you can always visit our website, wedlockwarriors.com, where you can download the free report, the 5 immediate steps you need to take to start rebuilding your marriage today. And me and Maggie put that together. We whittled down all these different things we went through, all these different things we looked at, and we found that they could drop into 5 core categories that if you're missing any one of these 5 pieces, there isn't no Jeff and Maggie. And so it's that important, guys. So we put a lot of thought and effort into that report. It's free. Go to the website, download it right now, and you can start rebuilding your marriage just like we did. And so, guys, today we're going to talk about scheduling and just how crazy, life seems to get out of hand. And so many people struggle with this. You always hear people talking about, oh man, I got so much to do. This is going on, that's going on. I don't even know run around with the chicken with the head cut off. And we want to kind of help put that to bed. So without further ado, here's 3 tips to help you figure out your crazy schedule.
Okay, the first one that we really feel is important is to set your priorities. And this is just so relevant for us right now because I am a musician, and this time of year is high school contest time. So I'm helping multiple kids and like a lot of kids from different schools all over. And there were times years ago when this was completely stressful for us because
it's very bad.
Our communication was not as good as it should have been. But there's a book by Stephen Covey, and he talks about setting your priorities, and he compared it to filling a jar. And he said, if you have big rocks, little rocks, sand, and water, what do you put in the jar first? And the answer is the big rocks, the non-negotiables. And the same is true with your life, with setting your priorities. So you have to go first with, okay, what are my big rocks? What are the things that you have to do? And for many of us, it's go to work. Like you have to pay for the food. You have to, you have to go to work. So that is a non-negotiable. But if you were to look at your schedule, there are several things that are negotiable. Maybe you told your friend that you'd meet them for lunch, but that's not a big rock. That's a smaller rock. So what we're saying at this point is define your priorities. Like what are your biggest rocks all the way down to your smallest rocks. So that's step number 1.
Yeah, so I mean once you got that figured out, and that's like the biggest step really. I mean once you figure out what can't not get out of my schedule, I say that really bad, but what has to be in your schedule, then you can start figuring out what can go around those things. And the next tip that we're going to give you is actually the simplest one, and that is have a schedule. You'd be surprised how many people, and we were guilty of this as well, we just didn't have a schedule. And what do I mean by that? I mean a written schedule where you and your wife or you and your spouse can actually see it together in real time. And so, I mean, I'll just give you an example of what we do. We got this big 4x4 sheet of, and it's right here, that's why I'm looking this way, this 4x4 sheet of whiteboard that we draw a schedule up every single month on. And me and Maggie sit down, we actually look at the schedule. And what's one of the real benefits of having a written schedule is you can see things as they're happening. So you can see a day that you're on, and you can see a few days in advance, and you're like, okay, this gives you a little bit of room to play with things. So you'll know, like for instance, Maggie knows that this week's going to be crazy for her. So I know that probably within that time frame, whatever free time that she's going to have shouldn't be spent doing things that I want to do. She probably is going to need some downtime. So I'm not going to schedule something in the free time that we have that's going to stress her out or make her work or anything like that. She's going to have to chill. And so that I wouldn't be able to tell that if we didn't have a schedule that we actually physically wrote out and looked at. Now, it doesn't matter. You can use a board or a calendar or something, but I think it's really important that you write it down and then
not on your phone.
Yeah, not on your phone.
Right. It's gotta be
you can transfer stuff to your phone, get
Absolutely.
reminders. I totally think that's cool. But you got to have something big and visual so you can actually see what's going on now, in the future, and in the immediate future and in the distant future. That way you can kind of weigh things out as they come at you, because a lot of people are stuck in the rut of first come, first serve as far as their schedule is concerned. And that is no way to lead your life, guys, because that is going to put everything that people want from you in their priority list above everything in your priority list. And so we got to figure, one of the big things that we put in our priority list and that is a non-negotiable that stays in our schedule is date nights. And in fact, last week was Valentine's Day, and we had a date night, and it happened to fall on the night of this video that we like to do. And guess what? The video lost, because this is a big rock. The date night and that commitment to that and our family time is a big rock. It doesn't get negotiated with. There's nothing else that goes in those time slots. And once those are set, they're set, and that's it. There's nothing that's going to get in there, that barring any emergency or anything like that. Of course, we're not, inflexible as far as that stuff's concerned. But the important thing is get a schedule, fill it out with the big rocks first, and then you can start filtering things around the big rocks, and it's going to make a big difference.
Well, and that piece of communication, as you might find that you and your spouse feel like different things are big rocks. So it's going to be a great conversation for you guys to have. What I think is cool about our visual calendar is that before our kids even say, hey, can I have somebody over for the weekend, they come and they look. And they think, oh gosh, mom's doing this or dad's doing this. That's not a good weekend, but this one is. So it's a great way to involve your kids too.
Well, and you also, it gives you the leverage to be like, oh, hey, I actually do have time to hang out with these people that I really, we just had that happen the other day. We're like, hey, we have some time. Where can we fit some of these people that we really care about into our schedule? And we're able to do that. If we didn't have that schedule, we wouldn't have a clue. There's no way, first come, first serve. We'd have all of our time taken away from us by stuff that's really not that important. And we'd be in big trouble. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys understand where we're coming from here. One of the biggest things that we talk about, especially in our in-depth focus class. Now, if you've been around this this podcast, or I don't know, what do you call this? This little live video that we do every week for a while, we've kind of changed tones here, and we're starting to do quicker, easier little tidbits to grab on these videos. And then we're actually going to plan a time when we do a real in-depth, like 1 hour video presentation with the entire focus class. So you don't know what focus class is, get on the website. It'll explain what it is. But it's the acronym that we've set in place that we use to pretty much build our marriage back from the brink of destruction. Well, I shouldn't say brink. Actual destruction. Actual destruction. Right. So it's those 5 steps, and we're going to really go into in-depth that. And we're working on that presentation right now. So hopefully you got something to look forward to here in the future. Hopefully you guys are are getting some value here. And if you are, just keep on keeping on. We love you. Don't forget
to give them step 3.
Oh, did we not give?
We haven't given them step 3.
Shoot. I'm going to end the video.
Well, I want to give them step 3.
Well, we should probably. We told you we'd give you 3. I figured 2 was enough.
I don't want you to feel ripped off.
No, give them 3.
So step 3, guys, is once you've set that calendar, once you have that calendar, protect those nights. So there are some things that, the date night, once it's set, it's protected unless there is, like you said, unless there's an emergency. Things happen.
Right.
But then whenever we make plans with friends, it is protected. We don't have to go back and say, oh, shoot, I'm double booked. I'm going to have to flake on them.
Right.
Because, again, let your yes be yes and your no be no for everyone in your life.
Right.
Okay.
So thanks for tip 3 there. That was pretty awesome.
Sorry.
Guys, well, that's a big deal, and that having that set schedule, having the big rocks in first, having something you can actually visually see, and having that communication piece is vital, because it's going to take a lot of pressure off you. See, I think people think the opposite. I think, at least I did, when we first started this, I thought having a schedule is going to be rigid and really hard to kind of get into.
It's liberating.
It is liberating because now I can look and go, boom, and everything just works out.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're going to close out with that. Sorry I tried to close earlier, but you got your 3 tips, and we love you. Visit our website, download the free report, and then look for the notifications for the free focus class, in-depth focus class. It's going to be coming up very, very soon, and you'll be able to really dive deeper into how we rebuilt our marriage and how you can too. We love you guys. We're Wedlock Warriors, real life,
Real questions.
real answers. Have a good one.